On April the 20th, I issued an executive order to reopen certain businesses that were shuttered during our statewide shelter in place. I'm very proud of these hardworking Georgians for following the guidance, keeping both their employees as well as their customers safe. I also stand with the small business owners and others who decided not to reopen their doors. These men and women have a choice, and I appreciate the incredible challenges that they face every single day in this environment. Today, I've issued a new executive order to extend several provisions, clarifying existing guidelines for certain businesses and providing guidance to other operators in our state. This order is issued as COVID-19 positive hospitalizations, ventilator use, and percentage of positive cases continues to drop. It is based on data, science, and the advice of public health officials. Many have warned of a second wave and asked if we are willing to change course if conditions decline. Let me be clear, we will continue to track the numbers and continue to heed Dr. Toomey's advice. We will take whatever action is necessary to protect the lives and the livelihoods of all Georgians. In light of this new executive order, live performance venues, bars, and nightclubs must remain closed through May 31st, 2020. I know this extension is difficult for many Georgia business owners in communities that have music venues. However, we believe that waiting a little bit longer will enhance health outcomes and give folks the opportunity to prepare for safe reopening in the near future. All Georgians must continue to follow social distancing, and gatherings of more than 10 people remain banned unless there is at least 6 feet between each person. The gathering ban applies to all non-critical infrastructure businesses, local governments, and organizations of all types, including social groups, informal get-togethers, and recreational sports, just to name a few.